Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new to day trading, you're probably asking yourself, where do I start? What do I need to focus on first? How do I even make an account? Who should I choose? Where do I go? And you don't know what you don't know. And there's a lot of people out there who are just saying, sign up for this, pay for this. It's just a lot of nonsense. I just want to share with you the 13 steps that I think are very important when it comes to starting off, or if you're trying to start on this journey of day trading, that I would share with my best friend, with my brother, with anyone that I want them to get on the right track. So stay tuned. I'm going to show these 13 steps, and I plan to make other videos following this that will break up each step into more detail, because it is a process and you can't make it all in one video. So stay tuned, make sure to subscribe, and thanks. The first step is going to be find a broker. A broker is someone like E-Trade, Thinkorswim, which is TD Ameritrade, Fidelity. Those are the commercial brokers that we all know. We hear them all over, the radio, or see them on TV. I mean, who even listens to radio? But you know what I'm saying. And it is how you're going to execute, buy, and sell your trades. Now, which one do I use? I use Cobra. They're a specialized broker. There's like Cobra, Interactive Brokers, who else? Centerpoint, and there's quite a few different brokers out there. But depending on what you're trying to do, if you're a beginner, you're probably focusing on buying stocks. So I do recommend maybe looking at E-Trade, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, because now trading is a lot cheaper than what it was a few years ago, where now it's free to buy and sell, which is nice. If you're interested in short selling, which is a whole different topic, you would probably need a specialized broker, which I recommend Cobra. That's who I use, and I am partnered with them. And I love that company, so I've been working with them for quite some time, and they just offered me the opportunity to partner with them. And you get a deal if you mention that you heard from me. You get a discount on commission, and you get a lower rate when it comes to signing up. So just let them know you heard from me. Either be the trader or be the story. Now, commercial brokers that I recommend, just to let you know, I have used E-Trade. I have also used Thinkorswim. Now, Thinkorswim, which is TD Ameritrade, I use them for just their charts, and I still use them to this day. Use them every day, in fact, for their charting, and I execute with Cobra through DAS. That's another software. But the main ones, to not lose you here, is E-Trade Pro or E-Trade, Fidelity, and TD Ameritrade. Either one is fine with me. Just sign up with one of them. So step 2, you're going to need to fund your account once you choose your broker. Now that can take anywhere from 3 to 5 business days up to 10 business days. So in the meantime, as soon as you choose your broker, ready to fund the account, and know it's going to take some more time before you can actually press any buttons, right? Number 3 is probably a question you're already asking. Alex, what do I fund my account? Like, how much do I put in there? All I can tell you is a couple of things. Number 1, you want to make sure whatever you put in there, it's what you can be okay with if you lost it all tomorrow, right? Quick. Know that. Not to say you're going to lose it all right away in a year, in 1 week, but you can. So make sure you're comfortable with that. And I recommend putting in a couple thousand, right? It makes sense, so that way you can risk small and win small, but you can work on process. That is what I recommend. Now, if you have less than $25,000 that you're funding with your account, which you probably do if you're watching this video because you're a beginner and I wouldn't recommend risking that much. But that means you're probably focused on longs, which means you're going to be under the PDT. PDT is a pattern day trader rule. Basically means that you're restricted from trading more than 3 trades. So if you trade more than 3 and you hit your 4th trade for the day, you will be restricted from trading, and you'll have a penalty of 90 days. And so usually they'll forgive you on the first penalty, but after that you will just be penalized for 90 days. So you don't want to be penalized, because then you can't trade anymore for 90 days. So keep that in mind, and make sure that if you are under the PDT, there's some options. One is, if you are going to open a margin account, which you may not want to, it means you can only do 3 day trades, because the 4th one will get you restricted. But if you make it a cash account, you can make as many trades as you want, as long as you have the cash in there. So pay attention to that, because if you have enough money, in let's say 10,000, 5,000, whatever it is, and you're trading dollar stocks or whatever, you're gonna have enough flexibility where you might be able to trade every day. And we'll get on to that topic soon because you don't want to trade every day. I know you're like, wait a minute, but I want to trade. Just stay tuned with me and listen. Now, one thing you need to keep in mind, after your account's funded, you're under the PDT, only focus on process, not profits. Process over profits. Practice on your layup, right? Your jump, your sprint, whatever it is, whatever sport you do, practice on the basics. So if you learn a setup, which we'll get to in the future, you need to make sure, just worry about process, don't worry about the outcome. Really let that sink in. Process over profits. Process over profit. Now, while your account's being funded, I highly recommend going to pick up a couple of these books, either Audible or if you like to read. I like to do both. And that is Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. My favorite by far. I've read it hundreds of times. It's dumb how much I've read it. It's actually embarrassing because, you know, I'm still growing myself as a trader. The other book is going to be Volume Price Analysis. Very, very good book. And then also Daily Trading Coach, where I interviewed in the past on my show Dr. Brett Steenbarger, the author of that book. Check out his book as well. I highly recommend you have that before you place trades or review it every day or every other day while you're trading. It's very helpful to be your own coach while you're trading because you're going to need it. And it's something I recommend. I'll have links below. And again, I plan on make other videos explaining it. Already funded your account. It's ready to trade. You read your books. I do recommend you also look on YouTube. There's a ton of free sources out there. A ton of gurus. But instead of just immediately paying for a guru, you can. That's up to you. I did that personally. I did. But I will say that there's a lot of free content out there where you can watch multiple different strategies. You can look on YouTube. Like I said, you can look on Google. Different avenues where you can learn different ways to trade and then see what really vibes with you and practice on that. One thing that will come up when you're looking at different options is going to be chat rooms. I have a mixed feeling between chat rooms. I talked about that on a recent episode on my podcast. Definitely check that out. Be aware of the pros and cons before you just join a chat room because it can be too good to be true when you're like, oh, I'm coming in a chat room, it should be great. But definitely understand the situation you're going to put yourself in just so you're prepared. I'm not saying they're all bad or all good. I'm just saying there's pros and cons, okay? So pay attention to that. Now, you're probably wondering, or maybe you're not, but if you are wondering, why have you not brought up paper trading? Well, I'm bringing it up now. And that is, whenever you're trading and you're trading small, remember I said put an amount that you're willing to lose. You might be trading small, right? Something that it's not really a big deal. Losing $2, losing $10 to make 30. That's what you're going to be focused on. The reason I recommend doing that route first is because if you do that route first, then you can start to feel what it feels like to be emotional in trades. And that is a real feeling you need to experience. I personally think so. It's my opinion, but I do recommend you need to experience the emotional battle that you'll have in these trades. So that way, when you do try paper trading, let's say you do want to go paper trading, maybe do some real trading for a week, 2 weeks, just so you can feel it. You'll feel the heart race. You'll feel your mind just playing games with you. Then go paper trading so you remember how it felt when you are paper trading and you trade it properly. Because paper trading without that experience can be very, very wishy-washy. It can give you a false confidence. And I want you to know what it's like before you just have that wrong experience and then come to the market with this false confidence and blow up. Now, you're already placing your trades, or maybe you haven't. One thing you need to keep in mind is you want to have a journal. You're going to want to journal your emotions. You're going to want to journal your entries, your exits. Why did you trade that trade? Was it a certain setup you're practicing? Journal everything from the beginning of your career. If you can do that and you can stay consistent, that is going to be the secret to your own success because you'll be able to go back and look at that and see what you're good at and what you're not good at. And then you'll be able to increase the chances of your success because you'll be able to focus in on what you're good at and improve on it. I'll make a video, and if I haven't already, it'll be linked below where I explain how I journal and how it has helped me, so that way you can do the same. I also recommend, if you're on social media, to block everyone who is just showing off their profits and they're just showing off these beautiful charts, but they never have losing days. They don't really teach philosophy or the proper way to trade. They just say, I've been profitable for X amount of days in a row. Like, block them now and you will say thank you later, because that will affect you, especially as a beginner trader, because you're going to be thinking that you're not doing well, comparing yourself to someone who might be trading for a lot longer than you, or they're just totally bull, right? They're just making stuff up. They're not sharing everything. They're not sharing the losses. They're not sharing their frustrations. They're not sharing that they held a trade for way too long and almost took a big loss or blow up. So do yourself a favor and do that now. Go back, block all those people or mute them. And we're almost done here, but I have to say this because it's so important. It's helped me a lot. Hide your own profit and loss. Do not look at it. Remember, I said at the beginning, you want to focus on process over profits. Process over profits. And the only way you can do that is if you can get rid of your profit loss. Stop looking at it. Stop staring at it, because it would affect you when you're trading. Especially as a beginner, you're going to not want to take trades when you just took a loss. You're not going to want to place, you may want to place too many trades because you just had a good gain. And if you just stare at that profit and loss, it will affect your trading. So do me a favor and do yourself a favor and get rid of that before you start trading. Now, I know I said to journal your trades, which you're going to want to do, but you also want to have a software. I like to use TraderView, where I upload all my trades. You can import them there and it tracks everything: statistics, your average win, your average loss, your profit loss, your profit loss ratio. This is very important because it will help you with your journal combined, where you can really see what you're good at. And now you're pretty much ready to go. The only thing I want to give you is the last thing: practice, practice, practice. This is a journey. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Some people get it in a year. Some people it takes 5 years, 6 years. I'm 3.5 years in, and I have finally found what works for me. But there's still times where I have difficulty. So just know that take your time and don't be confused with all those ads out there. You've probably seen some watching this video where it's like, sign up with this one pattern. You can make all X, Y, Z. Like, it's so stupid. But just make sure you take your time and practice, practice, practice. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe, like, and comment below what tip you really enjoyed, or maybe there's something I'm missing, and add it, because I will definitely highlight that so that way other people can pick up what you're putting down. So thanks again, guys, for watching, and be sure to subscribe, because I will have future videos out following this one to make sure it builds on top.